Next up is a presentation from the Vice President of Music at YouTube and Google. It's Patrick Walker.
Thank you very much. And first of all, congratulations for making it out this early. I wouldn't say that in any other place but Ibiza, but congratulations. It's good to be here. And I'm going to talk you through a bit of the YouTube journey, some of the trends we're seeing. It is actually YouTube's 7th birthday today. Thank you. And I've been with YouTube on this journey since the acquisition 6 years ago, initially brought in by Google to think about our video strategy. And then when we acquired YouTube, it became pretty obvious where I'd be spending my time. So I'm going to talk you through some of these things and have a few questions available for you at the end. But first, I'd like you to all stand up because it's cold outside. I want to warm you up. Come on, everybody stand up. Okay. So first of all, if you have, in the back, stand up, I can see you. If you have watched a YouTube video in the last 24 hours, please sit down. If you've watched a YouTube video in the last week, please sit down. If you've watched YouTube already, you're all sitting down. That's pretty good. Usually there's one person in the back who has no internet. They're living in a forest or something. Okay, if you've watched a YouTube video on your mobile handset or a tablet, please stand up in the last 24 hours. If you've watched a YouTube video on a mobile handset or tablet in the last week, please stand up. Okay, in the last month, please stand up. Okay, some guy sleeping in the back. See, pretty good penetration rate. YouTube has become very much part of our daily lives. And it's quite interesting, actually. I showed that video. That video was actually used on German television between midnight and 6 a.m. because they didn't really have much to show about 10 years ago. And people might argue that TV doesn't still have that much to show relative to what the internet can offer. But I also show that video because back in the beginning of time, really, in human existence, people used to gather around a campfire and used to tell stories. The idea of merging sight, sound, and motion was very powerful. The most powerful way to transmit feeling and emotion, and same thing for music and for performances. But what's changed is that at that time, the audience that you had was limited to the physical distance from you. The farther they were away, the less the impact that you had physically and emotionally. But now, with the internet, with taking off of technologies and handheld cameras and all these wonderful gadgets that we have, the campfire is truly global. Young kids like Madion from France, one of the fastest growing stars in the DJ world, basically made a YouTube video. And now he's opening up for Swedish House Mafia and played a fantastic set at Coachella. You know, this is what's happening. The audience is growing. And I want to give you an example, not from music, but from filmmaking, that kind of emphasizes this point.
Good morning, everyone.
Hola. Hola.
I love life.
I really love my family.
Oh my God!
I love football.
Do you both promise to love and treasure each other?
We do.
I'm afraid of losing this place.
I fear
Any kind of monster.
dogs. Growing up.
Politics scares me more than anything.
Stay safe.
When I close my eyes, I can see all different people in the world. I can feel it, I can touch it, I can see it.
Best day ever.
That guy was actually really drunk. Best day ever. We set out a challenge to people all over the world on the 24th of July, 2010. And we said, upload your videos to YouTube. And Kevin MacDonald, famous director, Academy Award-winning director, and Ridley Scott would put it together into a film, the ultimate in crowdsourcing, 5,000 hours of video accumulated from every corner of the world. Up-and-coming journalists, filmmakers, people who wanted to be part of it went out and traveled and filmed things. And one day, 5,000 hours accumulated, all filmed on the same day. And this was the result of that. 1.5 hours only from 5,000 hours. And think about how many different stories could have been told from a different director's point of view. Think about how many different stories and people's experiences could be expressed just from one day's experience. It's truly powerful, and we're seeing this as well in collaborative music, collaborative filmmaking, but the campfire is truly global and it's immediate. And if you have any questions about that, you really have to think carefully about how this world is changing, what it means for your business. The world is watching as well, live. Festivals are becoming, and have been, but live music is becoming a very big business. It's an important part for the music industry as physical sales decline, online and live performances are major. Now, where festivals have been selling out and have been selling out within 24, 48 hours, sometimes even less, reaching a global audience, millions and millions of users coming on and joining in the festivities has been a major part of what we've been focusing on in the past year, and you'll see a lot more of it. Just today, actually, Rock in Rio kicks off from Lisbon with some major rock and pop and other acts. So we've started doing this. This is the first European festival we've done, of course, out of the US, Coachella, with the 3D Tupac Shakur you might have seen, Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, et cetera, et cetera. Watch this space. If you are interested in also broadcasting live across the internet to a worldwide audience, we have a very straightforward self-service product where you can just plug it in, put on your webcam, and broadcast to the world. Costs you nothing. That's a major trend we're seeing. Devices, devices, devices. People talk about devices. It's really not that new that people wanted portability. This is actually a real ad from 1965, the Tummy television. It says it comes in various sizes depending on your waistband, and you can tuck it under the pillow in case you want to have a snooze and wake up to more entertainment. It's got an earphone, single mono, so you don't disturb your sleeping wife, it says. Now look at the guy on the bottom right for you. The Tummy television is now called an iPad. Things haven't changed in terms of people's desires, but the technology has massively transformed the way things are. How many of you have 2 internet-enabled devices that probably don't work in this building because internet is powered by snails in Ibiza? How many of you have 3 internet-enabled devices on your person right now? 4? Jeez, you're good. See, the average is about 2.1 in North America. So if you are in marketing, if you are in content distribution, if you are in business, if you pick one of these channels for distribution, just one, the chances of getting it wrong and missing an enormous audience are pretty bloody big. So these trends, devices, crowdsourcing, faster internet connections, except in this hotel in Ibiza. How huge has YouTube become, as a reflection of technology change? Some people point to Google and YouTube and say, you guys are ruining traditional business. Say, we're not doing anything other than reflecting the change and satisfying users, trying to thrill the users by being nimble. I say Google acquired YouTube in end of 2006, it had 100 million views per day, which is enormous, even by today's standard. Now, we're at 4 billion views per day. So that's a pretty big number, and that's up 50% from last year. Think about that. Getting bigger all the time. 800 million unique visitors worldwide watches YouTube every month. 44 countries that we've now launched. That was one global service in 2006. Now 44 countries in 60 languages. 600 million mobile YouTube views daily. Now this is a really important number. That's 3 times higher than last year. Think about all the countries coming online that are leapfrogging past the PC. Think about all the people that are getting connected devices. Think about your own consumption on mobile and tablets. I mean, I think Apple sold more tablets in the last 2 years than they sold. I think 60 million tablets. And that's more than they sold in total iPads and iPhones in the past 10 years, I think. So, I mean, the acceleration, the pace is enormous. This number is going to explode, and I think will surpass connected PCs and Macs going forward. 350 million devices enabled, so Xboxes, PlayStations. These are going to be your windows as well to the internet more and more. 20,000, the numbers are getting smaller, but they're also getting more important to us. Revenue generating partners. There were 4. The major labels were the first to come on YouTube. When YouTube first started to engage on a commercial level. The BBC was the first broadcaster to come on at the beginning of 2007 when we were being sued by Viacom, took a big risk. And over 20,000 partners from the Olympics. Many of you in this room, almost every major record label and independent label, and a lot of artists direct and DJs are working with us in our Musicians Wanted program. And 700 tweets per minute that include a YouTube link. This is growing every day. In fact, 50% of our traffic comes from links outside of YouTube. People don't even come to YouTube to watch 50% of those 4 billion views. They watch them on Facebook, they watch them on Twitter. So the important thing here is we don't create a walled garden, but you spread out your service to make it interactive with other services where people gather to have the biggest impact. It's a very different way of thinking than come to my website only to experience what I can do. 72. Now this number I just raised from 60 2 days ago. Which grew from 8 about 3 years ago. This is the number of hours of video uploaded every minute of every day. Think about that. The hours of video uploaded every minute of every day. It's an insane number. Just in 1 week of YouTube uploaded video volume, it equals about 40 years of all American major broadcasters' output. 40 years of all broadcast. Now the quality may be very different. One person's treasure is another person's trash. But the fact is these are people and partners expressing themselves through video. So going forward, there are 5 things that we believe. Well, we actually believe a lot more, but 5 I'll emphasize. 1 is there's no such thing as online video. Get that out of your head, and I'll talk about that. 2 is it's all about search and discovery. The traditional TV guide doesn't really work very well if you want to really explore and engage. Data and creativity equals gold. I'll talk about that. We can create ads that users love, and fragmentation isn't a new story. People talk about how the internet is destroying traditional business, you know, as if it's some sort of new phenomenon. This has been happening regularly over and over. The radio to TV transition, the traditional TV to cable transition, but the TV traditional world, if you like, to internet is a revolution. It's massive, and we'll talk about that. So first of all, there's no such thing as online video. Remember when you used to gather around a laptop and watch? Many of you probably still do, but now, as I mentioned, connected devices, Xboxes, the internet will be integrated into your television, whether you like it or not. Within the next few years, you will be consuming, I think, as much web-powered video as you are on your handsets today. I mean, how many of you would buy a mobile phone today that doesn't have a web browser? Right. How many of you thought 5 years ago you'd use your mobile phone to browse the web as much as you do? Right. Not many of you. So we think that the TV will become a powerful means of distributing web video, but you won't even know it's web video. It'll just be very easy and obvious once new devices that work well make it to the market. Search and discovery. People know what they like. They like recommendations from friends. You need to make sure you're capturing their interest immediately through search. And also we found we need to move more from a world on YouTube of video consumption to channel-based aggregation and curation. So we're developing our site to make it a lot easier for people to develop consistent channels with consistent user experiences to keep people engaged. We've done a lot of research on YouTube, and people would watch one video, then they'd watch another random video, then they'd watch another random video, then they'd go away. And then they'd come back again, but we've been really working hard to extend their time finding the right connected videos and allowing curators and specialists to help pull together playlists and things. So that's a really big part of what we're doing. 3, data and creativity equals gold. Very busy slide, but basically what this means is if you put a video on YouTube, you can see instantaneously where they're watching it, in which country. You can see where they drop off. Did you do a good job editing or not? You can tell. You can see where they came from, where they linked from, what search queries they used to get there, demographics, male, female, age, breakdown. If you are smart and you are creative, the combination of this data with your creativity can equal serious business. The record labels watch this data very carefully to determine what's going to be a hit, to determine what singles they're going to release, to determine which countries they'll be sending their artists to perform based on YouTube insight data. Very powerful stuff. Keep an eye on it. Now, I want you all to stand up again. I know. Everybody stand up, even if you're sleeping. Help them. Okay. I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to sit down when you don't want to watch anymore. Okay? If you want to keep watching, stand up. Oops. Is that working? Don't laugh at me. Okay. Here we go.
And here we go in 5, 4, 3,
around. You just watched an ad for a minute. That's an ad. Point here is when you have the right technology, ads can be created that users love. You can be capturing the attention of somebody with the right ad served to the right person, the right place. Now, this wasn't even targeted to you. I don't even know what you like, whether you have kids, whether you like Hot Wheels, if you like cars, if you like Skrillex, or if you like Madonna. I don't know. But this ad happened to capture all of your attention. You stayed there for a minute. Guess what? The advertiser would have paid 4 times more to us, which we share with you, the partner, if you sat and watched that ad. So there's an incentive. Now, if users click away, they don't pay a thing. So what happens is the user's more satisfied. We've introduced this thing called TrueView ads and skippable ads. It's the next generation of video advertising instead of just slapping on a bunch of pre-rolls that people have to sit through. When you put the user in charge and you have good targeting, the ad itself becomes great content. The advertisers become more creative to make things people love. The partner is satisfied and the user is satisfied because they're not being shoved something they don't like. If they don't like it, they skip straight to the content they love. And we've actually seen a 40% decline in audience drop-off from just pre-roll ads. So we've been criticized for the slow growth of monetization on YouTube sometimes, but we ask people to trust and ride with us on this journey to get together to join us as we find the right ad formats for the right platform for the right audience. But the revenue growth has been some phenomenal, 300% increase year on year for partners that are working with us based on this sort of creativity. Okay, so fragmentation isn't a new story. Now, you probably remember back to the day when you're watching, you had a choice of maybe, well, I remember this, a lot of you guys are younger than me, 4 or 5 channels. There was no remote control. I was basically remote control. My dad would say, get up and change the channel. And then cable came along. I remember the first house in my neighborhood that got HBO. We all gathered there. And then you had hundreds of channels going up to the year 2000, 2005, 10. Now, with the online, there are literally thousands of channels growing to potentially millions of channels. Things that are targeted and created many times at low cost, but with high impact because they really touch a nerve, because they really satisfy somebody's interest in something as small as juggling or something cooking a particular type of food. You might have heard of channels like Machinima, which now is generating 1.6 billion views per month on YouTube. It's all about gaming. You might have heard of Vivo. You might have heard of Warner Music. The new channels are phenomenal. If you compare these channels on YouTube, Vivo, Warner Music, Machinima, Maker Studios, to the US's biggest cable channels, they actually outpace them by far in terms of overall viewership. So think about where TV dollars might start to shift, right? In the old days, people said, oh, nobody's going to advertise on YouTube. Well, guess what? You're wrong. They will. They will follow the audience. And some partners you might recognize have joined this revolution of new channel creation. We invested over $100 million as advances against advertising revenue because we believed in this, with over 100 partners on a number of niche content channels, from Tony Hawk's Ride channel for skateboarding, Madonna's Got a Dance On channel, and others in the music space, Noisy, Pitchfork TV, and Bowery Presents Live, and so forth. I just want to show you one clip real quick from Noisy. Have anybody of you heard of Vice and the Noisy channel on YouTube? It's quite interesting. So they're trying new formats, new concepts that are made for the web. When I say the web, they're made for digital distribution across all devices. Unlike traditional broadcaster relationships, you won't see any case of you can't watch this in your country, or you can't watch this on this device. All these partners have made this content available everywhere, every device, to satisfy the user requirements, because people don't get it. They don't like it when they get a video that says, I'm sorry, you can't watch this either in your country or on this device. So all these partners are making things really made for the new generation of consumer. And I just want to show you this video if I can. Ooh, this looks kind of funny. Okay, here we go. All of you know Skrillex? They have a series now on Noisy where basically they go and they ask young children to review music. It's called Cute Kids. Here we go.
You are watching E-Review, and you are listening to Skrillex Bangarang. What the heck is that? Sounds like my dog. I think it sounds like a robot. Why, what music? This is just like my grandma's sofa. What is dubstep? I never heard of that. Daddy loves step, step. Makes me want to run around and dance. The song makes me feel crazy, like I've eaten loads of sweets. Bang on! This music makes me want to slap my sister's fat butt. He makes it using those special effects sound microphone things. I think he uses radios to make noises. I think he should be more like Elton John. I think grown-ups go to nightclubs because they always want to have parties. It's not fair. I think nightclubs are stupid. They drink lots of drinks to keep them awake. I don't know how to have the energy to stay up. Once I stayed up until 1 o'clock in the morning. Bedtime is 6 o'clock. I think the drop is when you drop being sensible.
I feel both entertained and a bit frightened by what I've seen there, but they're trying to, push the envelope a little bit, try new programming. Last week they did Kids Review, Radiohead, and they try lots of different. They also have created new series, for example, Record Shop Dude from Rough Trade. I would recommend you check it out. Like it or not like it, it's a new generation of programming, short form usually. The length of it is what the show itself merits, and it's an exciting space, a space that we will be further investing in Europe and with partners as we continue to grow. Oops, there we go. We're back, okay, cool. Wrapping up here. So what's next? A new site experience for YouTube for this evolving landscape, and it is evolving quickly, and we need to stay nimble. The switching costs for a user are pretty much nothing to go do something else. So we need to focus on the fact that for one thing we do well, there's probably 4 things we can do better. So we have to constantly improve the service. Social experience is very important, integrating with Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Now if you watch a live stream, like if you watch Rock in Rio Lisbon tonight, you can have a real-time chat with people using Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, all in the same screen, which is really cool. Helping users easily discover great content. With 72 hours uploaded a minute, you have to help people find content in a very sophisticated way, and we're trying to improve that and help our partners also curate and improve it themselves. And of course, bringing online, oh, by the way, not just discovering content, but we're also introducing a merchandise store. We can find ways for you can directly sell your products, your t-shirts, your tickets. We understand that it's not just about the consumption of the video, but we want to have a knock-on effect to the music economy. And of course, bringing online video to TV and across devices. Live, on demand, short form, long form, free, and even exploring pay options as we go forward. So lastly, if there's time, I want to show you one short video, and this is basically the journey that YouTube has been on for the last 7 years, which we made for this big advertiser event in New York last week. And if I'm allowed, I'd like to show that before we wrap. I think you'll recognize a lot of the moments that we've been through with YouTube. I think you'll also recognize that music has always been one of the key categories on our journey, and it will continue to be as we go forward. So here you go.
When we first started, it was just trying to share these clips with one another.
We saw an opportunity to empower everyone with the ability to use video online.
Hi YouTube, we just want to say thank you. Today we have some exciting news for you. We've been acquired by Google.
Hello?
Charlie, that really hurt.
I'm Clara. I'm 91 years old.
This is the CNN YouTube debate.
Yes, we can.
One of the features of growing old is heightened awareness of change.
Is this real life?
Oh my God, you're walking.
We can't handle it.
Justin Bieber's getting ready to go down.
People who are taking these pictures are literally risking their lives to do what they're doing, and YouTube gives them a venue.
Say no more, you are on. Can you tell?
And we're just getting started. You know, UKF came from nowhere. As I mentioned, Madion, even Justin Bieber, like it or not, he came through YouTube. Jamal Edwards, who spoke yesterday, SBTV. Who's going to be the next star? Who's going to be the next big producer, creator? It's all up for grabs, and we're just getting started. So thank you very much for your time. I don't know if we have time for questions or not.